You have to listen to your customer. Your customers, as you do the the grab and expand within a big enterprise, they're also going to have very unique requirements, and you got to be very careful about how you take those requirements and put them into your roadmap and the timing in which you do that, because you could end up having a roadmap that's not driven based on anything you want to do, just your clients, and that will inevitably be good for one or two customers, but not all of them, and you'll end up just spiraling downhill or having a big hiccup at some point.
You have to make sure that everything goes back to the metrics. You can't just make decisions based on what happened in history, because things are changing so rapidly right now in these industries that all of us are in, that you have to make sure that you're doing your own studies and you're able to measure the actual verticals that you get into, because you could make a mistake and it could be a very large mistake that you create.
We just had to be extremely transparent. It was all about if you were to go back in time, and we were to have charged you this amount for this set of features, knowing that the ship has already sailed, how would it have impacted you? And then, having those conversations, kind of boiling them into what's the market telling us, where's the line drawn, and then, having the negotiation and the crazy late night over beers arguments about, if you guys want this company to scale, we really, really need to draw the line here. It's absolutely going to be there, because that's what we're going to sell on the floor.
We want to give as much of the product away for free to as many people as possible. We know that there is a very small group that will over-index on value. They will get far more value out of it than anyone else will, and so they should pay for that value. But there was never an assumption that we would monetize everyone else, that we would give everyone else something for free and gradually move them up. We knew that salespeople and recruiters and what we would identify as outbound professionals, anyone whose job it was to find and connect with other people, we were providing a tremendous amount of value to that group. So that freemium model is a little, I think there are a couple different dimensions to think about it, right? We expect to eventually want to monetize every customer. We just start them off with giving them a free product to build an installed base that we later upgrade to. Or we know that we'll never monetize a majority of these folks, and we'll over-monetize a small group because we can.
Or just get that established, some foundation of that to say, okay, our users are X amount valuable to us. And we think that based on the industry, so for us, we look at LinkedIn and Monster and Career Builder and say, okay, they have X amount of users, X amount of revenue. Each one of their users is worth X amount to them. So if you can have that model set up correctly in the very beginning, or at least know where you need to get, then it can be a little bit easier on when you're trying to estimate what your revenue needs to be for the quarter, because you have some of that set up, and what a more realistic approach to what your revenue should be for the quarter.
Our biggest competitor was ourselves. We literally lost more deals to Box Free than to any competitors. So, it depends on what stage you're in and what kind of your goals are. And if, as a salesperson, I would rather not have freemium if I can have scale without it, and that's my ultimate goal. But I think for Box in our situation, it was the right strategy, because what we really did was saturate a market with what's now over 10 million free accounts, and we just got exposure. It's just marketing. It's a marketing plan. And there's cost associated, but it just continues to seed the market more and more. And what we can do is follow the breadcrumbs to where collaboration is happening at companies that we don't have business accounts in, and it's a good strategy for us. But I would say in general, if you can, this is just purely from a sales perspective, if you can hit your targets without the freemium model, you're going to save a lot of consternation on your sales floor, for sure.
Are you referring to Instagram by chance? There's going to be some big players out there that will drive valuations like that without a revenue stream. But it's if you look back at the trends in history, and it just does not support non-revenue generating operations. Does not support big valuations or growth within the business and scaling. So. I might be a little old school in that thought process, but driving revenue to your business in early age, in the early stage of your business, is critical to the business moving forward.